How does one become a midwife? Great question. So there are two paths to becoming a midwife in this country. One is a certified nurse midwife, and then the other is an out-of-hospital midwife. A certified nurse midwife is a registered nurse who gets additional training in midwifery. And those folks have, what's the word I'm looking for? Privileges in the hospital. And you'll usually find them working in hospitals. Sometimes nurse midwives will work in birth centers. Sometimes they'll do home visits. But the vast majority of CNMs, certified nurse midwives, work in the hospital. And for that route, you've got to do all the requirements to be a registered nurse first. And then you can go ahead and do the additional training. There are nurse midwifery schools where you're essentially doing, excuse me, the registered nursing and the midwifery degree at the same time. And in that case, it's usually going to take you about 3 to 5 years, sometimes more, and you'll end up at a accredited nurse midwifery school, and you'll often do your apprenticeship in a hospital. And one of the good things about becoming a certified nurse midwife is the infrastructure is already built. So you'll apply for a job much in the same way as you would any other job. And there's a few more scholarships and things like that. So that's the nurse midwifery path. The other path, out of hospital, there are lay midwives, direct entry midwives, religious midwives, licensed midwives, certified professional midwives. These are all out of hospital midwives. And the difference is, are they credentialed or not? So each state has its own laws that govern what a midwife is and what their scope of practice is. So if you are a religious midwife, that basically means that you have the protections of your religion to practice midwifery without an official credential. A direct entry midwife means that you were trained by another midwife and you went straight in. The rest of them, certified professional midwife, licensed midwife, those folks went through an accredited school. So that's usually going to be a MEEC accredited school, which it's going to take about 3 years. Then they did their apprenticeship with a licensed midwife. So there's certain numbers that you need to hit. And then there's usually a graduation test, and then you need to pass the licensing exam. Okay. There's also a final exam for nurse midwives. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. That usually also takes 3 to 5 years, sometimes longer. And once you do all of that, then you go through your state's medical board typically, and you apply to get your license or your credential. And if you end up doing it through a midwifery accrediting body, then you can do that as well. This is the quick and dirty version of how to become a midwife. The actual breakdown of steps is much more in depth, and I'm going to go into that in another video. But for this one, this is the overview, right, of what you need to do. All right. Hope that answers your question.